Hi everybody, it's Honest John. We all love our gadgets, our iPhones and iPads and GPSs and video games. And when a new product comes out, people line up at 3 o'clock in the morning to get it. But we don't like to think about the story behind our high-tech toys. There's a factory in Shenzhen, China, where a lot of that stuff is made. The people there, they work in brutal conditions. They handle toxic materials without protection. They work extremely long hours, and they don't make a living wage. And oh yes, they get one meal a day. Workers there have died from exposure to toxic materials. One worker died after working a 34-hour shift. And so many of the workers in that factory made suicide attempts that they actually had to put a net around the building to catch people who were jumping off the roof. See, all those cheap products that we get, there's a human cost to them. They don't just appear by magic. They are created through the exploitation of workers who are as close to modern-day slaves as we get. So I'm calling for a boycott of our high-tech toys until those jobs are returned to the USA and those products are made in safe, sanitary, humane working conditions under our work rules, with workers receiving a living wage. See, the reason why this exploitation is happening is because of us. It's because we Americans are ignorant and selfish. We like to have our little toys, but we don't like to think about the workers who died to make them. And it's not just, the cost is not just being paid by the workers over there, it's being paid by us too. In lost jobs, in lower wages, and less say in our working conditions. See, the corporations would love to be able to do to American workers what they're doing in China, India, and countries all across the world. And they will succeed if we don't wake up. Why do you think conservative politicians are trying to destroy the unions? So that workers will have no say in their wages and working conditions. So something's got to be done to save the American worker. First, a federal law must be passed repealing all right-to-work laws in this country. Subsidies for companies that exploit jobs must be ended, and instead those jobs must be heavily taxed and the companies that do that must be required to treat their workers as though they were living in America. They must comply with our work rules. They must be paid the equivalent pay of what a worker in the United States would get to do the same job. Now, this wouldn't interfere with any country's sovereignty because we wouldn't be requiring their government to do anything. We would just be requiring that of businesses that do business here in the United States. The workers over there would be better off. We'd be able to compete on a more equal playing field, and our workers would be better off. See, the United States is becoming more and more like a third world country. You might have noticed that. And this isn't an accident. This is what conservatives have been trying to accomplish since the Reagan administration. And they can be stopped. But the battle must be fought on all fronts, here in the United States and overseas as well. Thanks for listening.